Hey, what's up? It's your girl JRose. Welcome to today's episode of the JRose Experience. I'm super excited about today's episode because we have two amazing heavy hitters in the poetry scene out here in Philly. They are veterans, they've been doing it for a long time, and I can't wait for you guys to meet them. We have E, the Poet MC, and we have King Shyste. We talked about what life would be like if poetry was as poppin' as music and sports. What would their lives be like? And they get really deep into it. And we also have a little bit of fun guessing on some hip hop artists. So make sure you stay tuned and watch the whole episode. Keep growing. Hey guys, welcome to the JRose Experience. I'm your host, JRose. We are here for season 3 in Philly with some dope ass creatives, and I'm super excited about today's guest. My first guest is King Shyste. Please give him a warm welcome. Yay! Woo! He is a vet. Yeah, we still do that here. Listen. He is a vet in the creative community out here. So I'm super, super honored to be sitting here to chop it up with you. I know that you had a platform called Just Words out here in Philly. It was like an open mic platform.
Not too far from here, not too far.
Really? Cool.
Yeah, you go up, hit Broad Street, you'll hit it in about 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Look at that. And you ran the platform for 16 years.
What a team. What a great team. Everybody came and went, but I was the second host. Then eventually became the longest tenured host.
Wow.
I was actually the second host, and that was less than a year after we came into existence. But the owner of the building still is one of my best friends. He really just pushed me into it, and I just ran with it.
Really?
So we was like Jay and Dane without the breakup. We kept it going for 16 years.
Without the breakup, I love it. Now, how were you able to run a platform like this for so long?
The team. It was definitely the team. Every so often we had to evolve and adapt. We didn't go away from what we wanted to do, but I would look at it like a radio station, right?
Yeah.
So you know the format of the radio station. If it's urban contemporary, it's top 40. But then I would get different hosts, so we would get different personalities. So you're not watching me every week.
Yeah.
So when we was at our height and our best, I would only host once a month, but always be there, kind of nudging people along. Make sure we stick with our format and what we trying to do. But I would let everybody get their own their personality come through.
Yeah.
So and I would hear it. Some people would be like, my ex-wife, my son is sitting here right now. She was one of our hosts. They were like, I like Shakira when she hosts. They like E when he hosts. They like my brother Sam I Am when he hosts better. So they would keep coming, but they would get something different. And then I would look at it, I'm a people's person, meaning like I look at what the people want.
Yeah.
So, I was like, one, for spoken word, to stand next to the other genres we love. We love comedy.
Yeah,
we love soul singers. We love live music. We love hip hop. So my job was to get spoken word to stand next to that.
Yes.
And not to be doing a spoken word venue, because spoken word venues didn't last 16 years.
Yeah.
So one of the things that kept us going is we might go through almost a year that is comedy. People just say it for the comics more so. The poets, they get plight applause, but they fall out their seat for the comics. Or the singers, they come through and start running it. We had some great voices in Philly. So we would turn, and then it'd be back to be poet season again.
Poet season.
They come with the heat.
So it was a nice rotation.
It was a nice rotation. So on the best nights, you roll in your seat, and then somebody gets up into a Tony Braxton cover, whole crowd singing with Lauryn Hill.
Ooh.
One time, you get that thing going, and the poet drop beat. And the people just like, yo, this is crazy. We love this.
Wow.
So we was packing them in for a minute, and the numbers go up and down, and then it took its course. Everything had to come to an end. We just had to, one day had to pull the plug on it.
Yeah. What advice do you have for anybody out there that's looking to start like an open mic platform?
It's definitely going to be more difficult now.
Yeah.
But I would believe, when I seen the most successful people do it, they already have a way of getting people in the seats. A lot of cats, when they start doing open mics, the first thing they do is start tagging all the poets.
Yeah.
Or tagging all the artists. I'm like, we don't need you to get the artists. The artists, we gonna find out.
Yeah.
They're looking for platforms. I need you to get the people in there. So if it's somebody that they usually throw parties, and then they say, yo, I want to do open mic. They're already getting 500 people to come to the party, so they can get 50, 75 people in a room and build off of that.
Yeah.
Or people that do anything that they're already pulling in people.
Yeah.
They already have yet you're really a promoter. People say they're a promoter and they're not a promoter because you don't have a base. A promoter gets people in a room. And then once we get in the room, is you get them in the room, then the promoter say, yo, I got this dude from New York coming down, he's funny, or this rapper is hot, and this, that, and the other. Because if you're trying to, and I seen that, where they try to do, well, your name bring the following, and I'm like, well, my followers are at Just Words.
Yeah, so my followers are on the stage.
Right, so if I already have an audience in Philly and Just Words. When I come to South Jersey, I need you to put people in the seats because they don't know me till I get there. I'm gonna handle my thing when I get there.
Yeah.
So if you're in Baltimore or the other parts of Philly, you already have to be somebody that's already know how to put asses in the seats.
Yeah.
And then once the people get there, because they trust in your word as a promoter, then you get this talent that people are like, yo, I like this.
Yeah.
And I seen that. Like one cat, he was Westchester. He was good he used to do parties. He would get people in there. They didn't know about the poets. He get the poets from Philly and Baltimore to come up.
Wow.
People would love it. But they came because he was a promoter. He already know how to put people in there.
Yeah.
So going forward, that's the way I would see it. Like somebody that already knows how they got a venue or they got a following to put people in that venue and that asses in the seat, and then you bring the artists in because a lot of the artists is already. They're looking for a place to do it. You know, everybody's SoundCloud and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Now. And live streaming. But somebody, you still want to get, in front of people.
Yes. That's what the live experience is everything.
The live experience is everything.
What do you consider, because I'm sure you've seen, hundreds of performers on stage. What do you look for, like, for you to say, like, that's a great performance?
That's the question I was thinking of. It's like any other genre. First of all, if I'm playing the host, I'm looking to see what are you trying to do, and do you make that connection? So I can't judge it all on one thing. It's no specific.
Yeah.
So I would give it to you like in hip hop. Royce the 5'9" great performance is not Meg Stallin's great performance.
Yeah.
She's getting lit and turned up. Ross is making people nod their head like, yo, he's crazy with it. So I'm looking to see what you do. If you're a sister or a brother that pull out that book, then I'm looking like, yo, dude, what he wrote in that book and he's reciting off the page, is he connected? Now you got these funny poets. If he's a funny poet, do we got the crowd laughing? If he's a erotic poet, do we got the oohs and ahs going? So it's what you're doing. And if you're a thought-provoking lyricist, like my man's, then I'm looking at him going, oh,
you gotta get the snaps.
He got the wordplay and you got the content. So it's what you're doing. The same thing, and it would be the same with singers. Singers, we want to know if you're polished. Some people got great voices, but they're not polished on the stage.
Yes.
So it's whatever you're doing. As a comic, whatever you're doing. You got the raunchy comics and you got the cerebral comics. So it's what you're doing. That's what I'm looking to see if you're making a great performance. What are you going for, and did you hit that mark? And that would be anywhere. I can't judge a rock and roll drummer the same way you would a jazz drummer. So I'm looking at what they're trying, what they're going for, what they're laying in, and do they make that connection?
Nice. And how about you, like as a writer and as a poet? How did that journey begin, and how did you develop your style?
Lifelong. It's lifelong. I don't know who said it. I think it was Jay or somebody said, it's your whole life is going that first album. So it started lifelong. I started grade school. I still can't remember, did I write a rap or a poem first?
You can't
did
tell.
I hear Sugar Hill Gang, Rap of the Light, and start penning something? Or was it, I read Langston Hughes in grade school and said, I think I could do that. But then Melly Mel came with the message, so then I wanted to do content-heavy poetry that related to what I looked out my window. So I was writing since grade school, but going back to my friend, and I was an MC in junior high. So,
that's so
my
from
man,
young, you was just ready.
So the dude I was talking about owned the building, he was the DJ.
Oh shit!
So when we got together, started doing Just Words, he kept saying, "Shyste, you got to do something," because he would hear the things I talked about, and he knew I could write and had the thoughts. So boom, and it just took off. I just went from there, and then Just Words gave me a great response the first time I hit the stage. Then you got to figure out, like, yo, is this just my family gassing me?
Yeah,
so then I had to hit the rest of Philly, and then it was a little, because it was different, because Just Words, we had the rules and the etiquette, so then I had to go to venues that didn't.
They were
like,
more open.
They were eating while you right in front of people that they're eating fish and talking on the phone and doing all kinds of stuff.
That's so
then I
hard.
had to learn how to move in those spaces. So that journey went, then I had to leave Philly to see, okay, I got Philly, now I got to get the East Coast, and then you go out to the Midwest, and just keep moving around to, after a while, I could just call people, and I'm like, yo, I want to feature there, and, as soon as I say my name, he's like, oh, come on, we got you. So I had to go on a journey of doing it, like putting in the work, hitting stage after stage, and once I've seen come up later, so now you got younger poets come up, they see that you're holding a spot that they think it's like a push button thing. They want to microwave. There's a lot of entitlement stuff going on. So they think you're supposed to, like, how did I get there? How did you get there? And I'm like, you didn't do what I did.
Yeah, you got to put that work in.
You came around 2010, and I was already doing it from 2005 to 2010. It took all that time to just kept hitting these stages, and I was in open mics 3, 4, 5 times a week.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I really put time in to get a certain thing, to hone the craft live, kept writing to get better. And I told the younger poets, you got to keep writing to get a better writer, and you keep hitting the stage to be a better recite better and be better on the stage, So just, it's the time. The time is the journey to put it in. It's, now cats think about, hit that one poem that goes viral, that they see a poet that went viral, and now they doing a college tour. People started chasing that, and they didn't want to put the time in. So then I would look at poets like, you might got 1 or 2 poems, but it's the same way in the comedy set. It's like, yo, some comics can play a room for an hour.
Yeah.
And then there's somebody like, they got 2 or 3 good jokes. So, we call it having deep pockets. So if I could do a set and do 10 poems, I could go from erotica to content, my life experience, my belief system, all kinds of different poems. And I do one that's a story, then I do one that's a concept.
So you stay versatile.
Yeah, that was the thing. When I came in, everybody was a parody of themselves. And they was trying to figure out what parody, like, she's the erotic poet, she's the depressed poet, he's the funny poet, he's the this poet, he's the spiritual poet. And they tried to do that about the 4th or 5th week. They was just like, he's just a poet. Like,
he's everything.
I would do a sex poem, and everybody like, do that sex poem again. And I was like,
you're like, nah, not this week. This week we talk about social injustice.
Social injustice, spiritual journey.
Yeah.
My relationship or my non-relationship with my father. So
and
then I would do different poems with different writing styles. So that was the thing for me, so you don't feel like if you heard one DMX song, no disrespect, I love DMX, you feel like you heard them all.
Yeah.
But I like people like Nas and Jay. It's like, you never know what they're going to do from song to song, from album to album. Or Kanye and gotta say Kanye. You tripping, but you never know what he's going to do to that.
Exactly. Keeps you on your toes. Oh yeah. Real quick. I have a random question. So I'm a big shoe person. I love shoes, and I always ask artists, what is your favorite pair of shoes to be on stage with?
It's prior to the knee injury, it was Tim's. I tried to rock almost every color. Some, you know that some colors they came out with, I shouldn't have tried. But I was big on the Tim's. That was it was the look, because the poem signified like sturdy, gritty, North Philly, urban. That's Tim's.
That's definitely Tim's.
Now, just if I could put it on and have no pressure on my knee, I'm good. So I don't have a shoe now, but Tim's.
Tim's was it.
I keep rehabbing this knee, I'll be back in some Tim's.
We'll be back.
At least on stage, and I take them right off.
There you go. So I know you came through with some poetry for us.
Oh, no doubt.
All right, we'll be right back with some poetry from King Shyste. Stay tuned.
All right, King Poetic. Roy to the metaphors and similes. off the visual language, imagery. So picture me reciting poems on the street corner holding the microphone with that Black Gorilla Family energy. Ball cap fitted, George Jackson t-shirt image. I'm as crazy as the gods when I write my life and recite with blood in my eyes. I shine like a diamond ring, fashion myself like a customized jeweler bling. Measure stick for greatness, I am my own ruler, king. So in this world that's dark and heavy, I came to make it light. How you royal if you're not rocking your crown right? They want us divided like Tutsi and Hutu. I'm trying to bring us together like Zulu, King Shyste, see me, see Shaka. What you think all the poems are for? I'm the elephant in the open mic room. I'm so Hannibal, I just want you to be more. But niggas love them tragic figures. Can't build a kingdom off of martyrdom. They will crucify your dreams in the slums, and 3 days later, the King of Kings will resurrect them like birth. She's earth, but Malcolm X says she's the most disrespected. You a pawn if you leave your queen unprotected. The people poet been elected king. To the table I bring 3 parts to a whole, mind, body, and soul. My thoughts black like Africa, spirit rooted in Ethiopia. Walk like I'm royalty. I'm North Philly's Haile Selassie. But the government want my God body state property. Young guns want to bury my sons so they fall like autumn leaves. So in the coldest winter, we bring heat. They've been playing in our place for 400 summers. So I spring forward with good teaching. Respect the mic. It's King Shyste season. I got a question. You ever heard the sound that it makes when the king's heart breaks? Hear the tears streaming down the sound of his poem. Create emotional waters deep enough for your sins to swim in. It sounds like shortcomings and flaws, and I'm not going to lie to you and say I gave it my all, but when the king's heart breaks, it makes this horrific crack. The sound of your soul may ask for half of her spirit back, and she can't remember why you and her were together in the first place, and forever met his demise has come from overused cliches, things we say in between I love you, and it's always going to be this way. Who knew that silence could be amplified so loud, the noise of emptiness between the sheets, no intimacy when we sleep, hear my demons' footsteps when they creep, crown going up in the fire, throne crackle inside the flame, and I don't blame Queen for lighting the match. When I put it in her hand in first place, Bus gave her combustible fluids to do it. But it still hurts. When the divorce court separate the gods from earth, I should have told my ego to fuck up. You and foolish pride out here doing too much. Instead, I let my lust bust all over side poems, and you can listen to poems and decide who's right or wrong, but that's not my point of view. I just wrote this to give her peace of mind, let her know that every season has its time, but ours is running late. Your dreams will dissipate when your queen looks you in your face and whispers, I don't want to do this anymore. Now that's what it sounds like when a king's heart breaks.
Whether it's tax season, the holidays, or whatever falls in between, you want to make sure that you're being smart with your money. So go visit my girl, Queen Candace, at the Queen Blueprint to learn how to gain your financial freedom. You could get a personalized debt payoff plan, a full financial overview, and learn to repair your relationship with money. Smarter money moves are waiting for you at www.thequeenblueprint.com or call 877-387-BLUE. Use code JRose20 for 20% off of all our financial services. Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to the JRose Experience. I'm your host, J Rose. We are back with our next guest. He's a Philly-based creative, dope artist. Please welcome the Poet MC.
Hey, right.
I'm excited. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. You know, I had a really shout out to Caramel Poet out in Texas that put me on to you.
She's real dope. Shout out to her.
Yes, she pointed me in your direction, and I'm honored to be sitting with you here. I know that, so your name is the Poet MC, so that tells me that you are a poet, but you're also a lyricist. So absolutely. I'm assuming that hip hop has some type of influence in your writing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So how did hip hop influence you into poetry?
Well, you know, first disclaimer. So I'm older than the first rap record. All right, that came out. That came out in '79. So I'm a couple years earlier than that in existence. So as long as I can remember, like, you know, second grade, third grade, I've always wrote in some form, like short stories or little limericks and poems or whatever. Really, my first inspiration was like to be like a songwriter. I remember looking at the lyrics of Songs in the Key of Life by Stevie Wonder and wanting to write, you know, my thinking of like writing a song is writing down words. And so it's the words first. So I used to write these words down, these ideas, and tell my mother, like, I wrote a song. She's like, well, how does it go? I'm like, here it is. Like, read it.
Read it.
This is a song. And she's like, well, well, that's more of a poem if you don't have any melody to it. I said, okay, then that's what it is. So I would write these ideas down. So when Rappers Delight came out, you know, all the neighborhood kids, everybody's rapping.
Yeah.
So it's like, I could do that. I could write in a syncopated form.
Yeah.
You know, write these same words that I'm writing, write it on beat. And it was a big deal to everyone else, but rapping was real simple to me, so I always rapped. Yeah. But my main passion was to be more of a songwriter and do something a little bit more thoughtful. Yeah. So how it influenced me doing poetry, I started out as a rapper of sorts. But it was more like I would do like these long form rhymes where it's like they wouldn't stop. Like I would write for like 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
And everyone else was kind of trying to stick to that 16 bar.
That 16 bars, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. I want to keep going. I can't get all my ideas out in this little thing and then throw these little stupid hooks. I want to keep writing.
Yeah, yeah.
So I went to my first poetry open mic. I was around like 19, I think. And because me and a few friends of mine, we used to manage a record store.
Oh, cool.
Right. So it was like, before it was called like a hip hop open mic, we just like had a mic and like all these rappers would show up and we would pass the mics around.
Okay, like a cipher.
Yeah, and these college students used to come through and say, man, you got to come to our spot. Yeah. And their spot happened to be a poetry thing. Oh, so cool. They invited me there and I could do my long form poems there without any beats and people really listening to what I was saying. So in the early 90s, MCs, poets, live musicians, they kind of occupied the same kind of space. Okay. And they kind of influenced each other. Yeah. So that's kind of like where my style comes from. It's like a poetic MC kind of style.
Yeah. And I know you've been writing for over 20 years. Right. So how have you been able to like maintain a presence in like the creative scene out here in Philly?
Well, by staying on top of your craft. Whoever's doing the craft, there's always people come into the craft and they're doing it at such a high level. Yeah. So you automatically become a student of those who are doing it like that. Like, I'm sure every MC back in the day, in my era, we were all writing raps and then Rakim came out. So we balled that up and said, okay,
burn this.
Right, this is the new standard. Then Nas came, it's like Illmatic, okay, that's the new standard. So when by the mid-90s, when I was doing my spoken word thing, you would see more spoken word artists emerge that had more of a hip-hop influence. Absolutely. Like a Saul Williams type. So for instance, when Saul Williams came out, late 90s, everybody changed what they were doing. When Jessica Care Moore was on the Apollo, so it's like, okay, this is the new standard. Yeah. So you always want to keep up with the new standard. And I'm privileged to come from a city like Baltimore. I'm originally from Baltimore. We traveled up and down the East Coast where we would go to New York and see what they were doing in New York. We would come to Philly and see what they were doing in Philly. And so we shared stages with some of the best people doing the craft.
Where'd you come to New York? You came to New Yorican?
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Yes. Yeah, the first time I did the New Yorican was like 2008. Nice. First time I went to the New Yorican. And that blew my mind. Yeah. Just because people would travel from all over the world.
All over the world, yes.
You know, to come to the New Yorican. So, so all of that, the way that I stay consistent is, it's not like I always say, art is not like being a basketball player. You have to worry about your knees getting bad.
Absolutely.
You know? So, with art, because like some of my favorite poets, like with the last poets, Umar bin Hassan, he's old enough to be my father. Yeah. But I put his pen in his 60s against any 20-year-olds. Yeah. Because he has a very good pen. Yes. So the way that you stay consistent and keeping a presence there is that you consistently work on your craft. Don't rest on what you used to do. Yes. Like I always say, used to bees don't make honey.
Ooh, used to bees don't make honey. All right, go ahead, poet.
Yeah, so if you
MC.
Exactly. Well, I'm slick with it. That's what I do.
I hear that.
Yeah, so if you was hot last year, good for you.
Yeah.
Just make sure that you hot this year.
Facts. So consistency, I think that's super key. Like, I say that all the time when people ask me, like, what do you look for when you want to collaborate with somebody, or what makes you decide if you want to work with somebody? Like, I look at your track record. Like, are you consistent? Like you may have the hot idea, a
Right.
great vision,
Right.
but like, what are you gonna do once you execute it? Are you gonna bring more? Like you need to keep coming with it. So I feel you on that. I know you got some really dope stuff that you working on that you mentioned a little while ago. So please, by all means, let's talk about that.
Well, I just released my this is what the 6th studio album that's in digital form.
What?
You know, because back.
Oh, you have like CDs.
I got CDs for the. My God, I don't even want to start the number how many CDs.
Guys, CDs
are these circular
things
that used to stick into a machine.
Yes,
that you probably don't even know what that machine is.
Like a mirror.
So just let that go. But you can stream. You can stream the new album. I just released it on my birthday, September 8th.
What's the name of the album?
In the house. This Thing Called Life.
Ooh.
Yeah, This Thing Called Life. It's a because also I'm a music producer as well.
Yeah.
So most of my work, every poem I've ever written, for the most part, has been written alongside of music.
Nice.
So when I perform on stage, like spoken word, without any music, that's only part of the experience.
Mm-hmm.
So when I entered into spoken word, I was doing recordings every time I do what I do.
Yeah.
So now in this content-driven era, this is beautiful because it works for me a whole lot better.
Absolutely. Because you do visuals too with your work, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So we always do short form films or videos, music videos to go along with everything that we're doing. So I've been laying the base for a spoken word record label. That's the biggest.
Do you guys hear this?
So Griot Soul Records, you can find it on Instagram. Griot Soul Records _. Don't get the little underscore. You can find us and definitely connect with us because, like you said, I'm looking to work with. I'm doing a series of remix projects right now with this group out of Baltimore, Fifth L, Black Chakra from Baltimore as well. I'm also trying to get in contact with K Love, the poet out of Chicago. There's a lot of people. I'm throwing names out.
Come on, y'all. Pay attention here.
Because really, I want to do things like you talk about. How do you stay on top of the craft? I want to work with the best artists that understand. Like, there's a rhythm and a cadence in spoken word. It doesn't have to be rhymey. It doesn't have to be what have you.
Absolutely.
But there's a lot of different approaches. We don't have to be long form monologue only.
Yeah.
We can, we can mix it up. We can combine music. We can think about the visuals.
Yeah.
So when I write a poem, I think about all of these things.
Yeah.
So this new project I have, This Thing Called Life, gets into all that sort of thing.
Dope. I have a weird question.
Yes.
What is your favorite pair of shoes to wear when you're performing?
Shell toe Adidas.
Shell toe Adidas.
Yes.
Throwback. I definitely had a few pairs.
Yeah, that's my tribute to hip hop culture. They were a staple once upon a time when I really got into my rhyme thing and got outside and was hitting them streets. Those are my shoes to wear. So most people know me. I'll be wearing shell toe Adidas if I'm on stage.
I love it.
So.
I know you got some poetry for us.
Absolutely.
All right. So we'll be right back with some poetry from E, the Poet MC. Stay tuned.
Dearly beloved, we've come to the summit, forming a covenant, motherfuck the government. What got us divided, we decided we done with it. Give crackers back they vernacular and dumb shit. Blow the trumpet, we over the Trump shit. There's no dying, it's the virus of COVID. Can't stop what's written in papyrus, fuck the blue iris, most high is us. Plus, we got shit to discuss. Since Rosa arose from the back of the bus, the movement to rights ain't been moving right. Trying to prove we human, we losing life, confusing, right? Where shit gets deeper, integrate with them when him the grim reaper. To stay with your haters outdated like a beeper. Wonder why the police always trying to beat you. Teach your kids, avoid the pig, cause they don't stop till you void, you dig? This thing called life's like a mic device. What you speak in, it comes back precise. Live free, die trying, that's the sacrifice. Live like a slave, you whack at life. Party sheeple, gather for the sheer. Dread the bald head, all we shared is fear. Who's scared to die? We done bled for years. Surprise colonizer misread my tears. Can tell who's who by the way they act. Modern day slaves want their normal back. So-called freedom with strings attached. Fuck that shit, nigga, pass the match. This flame's in the name of Brianna. George, we gorge these hogs in your honor. Riot uprising, call it what you wanna. Suicide bomber in a nation of piranhas. Fan the flame before it dies. We ain't outnumbered, we out organized. But we on the rise. It's already wrote on the page of the Bible. Allow me to quote. The meek shall inherit. Get over the scarce shit. Live on purpose, not repurposing their shit. Pull the mask off the culture bandit. To stand for a standard is standard man shit. This thing called life's like a mic device. What you speak in, it comes back precise. Live free, die trying, that's the sacrifice. Live like a slave, you whack at life.
Ladies, want to know what I love as much as chocolate? Fashion. So of course, I'd end up dressing in some Fashion is My Chocolate styles. Head over to fashionismychocolate.com for collections with unique details, comfortability, and versatility. Use our promo code to be the sweet tooth of fashion no matter what mood you're in. Make sure you enter JRose at checkout for 10% off your purchase. Keep growing. Welcome back to the JRose Experience. I'm your host, JRose, and I'm here with both my guests, E the Poet MC and King Shyste. We're going to chop it up.
Meet you, Faye.
They know each other already. Playing around. We're going to have a fun little group discussion, and then we're going to have some fun play game off the top. What I want to talk to you guys about is I'm really interested to know, because one of the reasons why I created this show is to provide a platform for poets to reach more people, right? Because I want poetry to be big, like huge. So I want to know, what do you think your lives would be like if poetry was as big as like music and sports, where they're selling out?
Oh, can I get this one right here? Can I get on this one right here?
Sweet God.
See, okay, so what my life would be, we would be, as a poet, MC, okay, I would be considered in the realm of Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, Dr. Neely Fuller, those who heal the minds and the souls of Black people, if you will, because the world would be a much empathetic place if poetry was the popular medium like hip hop, and if everybody was turning up in the club to King Shyste, getting into the not even just the trauma of the transatlantic slave trade, but how we've overcome that chapter, and how we got greener pastures to come. Like the way he lays that thing out, you know what I mean? We would be a more feeling people. We would be more empathetic. So the hood would be a very empathetic place, and I'd be one of the chief physicians in that space.
Chief physician.
Yeah,
I hear that.
Oh man, I think if it was a parallel to R&B and the other genres, I think I would be one of those cats that be like the Sam Cooke. I think I'd be like, I would have that audience where my people really like bang with me, but I don't know if it'd be, I would be that poet that go Michael Jackson or Prince, or they hit the pop and
like
cross
the
all of them.
Pop
But I think
legend.
I'll be the cat when you come to Detroit, Philly, Newark, LA. My people will be there and they know what I'm getting ready. And it's basically has been that, because when you can see the rise of it, and I could show up and somebody could put 200, 300 people in it. It's a beautiful night.
Yeah.
We talking about the Norican, Baltimore. I've been places where it was packed, and even in Philly, it's packed, and it feel like a rock concert. But you don't get those moments enough because you don't have that sustaining thing going on. We had a sustaining thing. I think I would be probably, somebody like, I would be the chief of position. I would probably be like the Royce.
The
5'6", 5'9" of spoken word, or the Sam Cooke of spoken word. Like my people were like, yo, that's the dude. And somebody else like, a little too heavy for me, a little too much with the wordplay. Because it would probably be a little Wayne in that thing, and a Nicki Minaj and everything. So the genre would grow, and it would still, if you compare it to the other genres, you would have those people that had that crossover thing. And I think I would be that person that like.
And we're poised for that. You know what I mean? Spoken word, and this is the thing, that's why we need that sustaining engine. So we need like a Berry Gordy, if
Yes,
you will.
I'll be the Barry Gordy.
Well, you can partner with me at Real Soul Records.
We here.
Look at my camera. At Real Soul Records.
Office hours, 9 to 5.
What we're doing right now, we're creating that sustaining craft. Because see, the thing is, just like with hip hop had a 10-year history as just being a performance art form before a recorded art form. And most of the greatest performance artists in hip hop were reluctant to get into the recorded realm. But it was the recorded realm that acted as an ambassador for the culture worldwide. So we need some cultural ambassadors, those of us that know how to record that type situation. Come on to Grill Soul Records. if you want to produce a dancing all in your video, come to Grill Soul Records and we're gonna make that happen for you.
And sometimes you can let other people blow your horn. I mastered the art of featuring on stage. And then I'll go over his crib, his studio, lay 3 acapellas, and then come back a week later, and I'm like, that's me. Like it is another thing. It's another thing. The words come to, the words on stage by themselves come to life.
Yeah.
Then his music bring your words, I guess, to higher life. Is that the thing?
Higher vibration.
Higher vibration.
Just gives it a little bit more light.
Yeah.
It helps people because music, helps people connect to it emotionally.
Yeah.
So the words is already emoting something, but the music helps you connect. It's like watching a scary movie. You know you're supposed to be scared at this moment because you hear the suspense music. You don't think about the music, you're looking at the scene. Yeah. So likewise, you're not thinking about the music, you're thinking about the poet. But the music helps that make that emotional
ambiance.
Connection. Yeah. So that's what we're working on.
Yeah, I think that, I don't know, for me sometimes I forget that because I'm like saturated in this space. Like for me, I'm like, poetry is huge. What do you mean? But then when you step out of our space, we realize, like, when you go to like your office job, and Joe across the desk across from you, he doesn't fucking know what poetry is. He's like, what is that? Are you a slam poet? But so I want poetry to be huge.
I seen both of that, because I could be standing in somewhere for a half hour and cars would be beeping and people would be shaking my hand and they'd be like, yo, you really heavy into that thing. And they'll give you that thing. And I said, but no, I could also walk through the mall and nobody knows me. Yeah. So I seen both sides of that. Yeah. I seen the parts where,
you walk in the spot, they're like, yo, JRose in the building. You're like,
right.
Oh, shit.
I've been on the train and 2 or 3 people get off the train, like each stop and just shake your hand. What are you doing? Just keep doing what you're doing. Now the other people on the train look like, do I supposed to know him? Yeah. It's like that scene where Eddie comes out the bathroom. Right. And the boy's so happy to see you in the bathroom. And everybody, look like, why are you so happy to see you? Right. If people that know, and they're like, yo, Shyste, yo, eat. Because we'll be walking together and we'll get that from people. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, but like you say, we had our job, and if people just like,
I want poetry to be big, and I feel like a lot of because of the space that I'm in, and the people like you that are building, are building the foundation. I feel like poetry has so much potential to be bigger. We even have the Brandon Leaks, who just won like America's Got Talent for being a spoken word poet. Right. Like people are starting to pay attention to spoken word artists. Spoken word artists are getting booked to speak at like graduations, like college graduations, and as guest speakers. So I feel like poetry has that potential.
But the thing about that is, everyone knows about spoken word. Mm-hmm. Everybody's familiar with spoken word artists.
Yeah. Oh, that poetry thing. That's what they call it.
So the thing is, I think there's been, since I can remember, there's been such a earnest desire to make it big before a lot of things are consistently good. Yeah. So it's like we've allowed spoken word artists, because, no disrespect to Def Poetry Jam and these other things. Yeah. But once a certain thing, it's almost like the Rapper's Delight album. Mm-hmm. When the Rapper's Delight album came out, it wasn't demonstrative of what was actually happening in the culture. It was a facsimile of what was happening in the culture. So the first series of records, you had the Rapping Duke, you had Rapping Donald Duck, and it was presented as some type of a novelty thing. Yeah. So when a novelty thing becomes the standard thing, and it's not really
the practitioners of the culture need to create a representation of it,
Yeah.
not someone that looks at it like, okay, let me give y'all this piece
Can I
of
say
it.
this one?
Yeah.
So, and that's what's happened to spoken word a lot. The representation, like, you know, there's been great poets on Def Poetry Jam,
Yeah.
but not the best poets in the country at the given time.
Yeah.
Beyond just, I mean, there's been things done with poetry in the 60s. Artists have already worked with music. So, you know, like Nikki Giovanni put out an album with music. Langston Hughes worked with music.
Yeah, I didn't even
I
know
didn't hear
that.
Langston Hughes. I heard Nikki Giovanni.
Right. So Last Poets work with music. They work with live bands. Amiri Baraka. All of these artists already work with music.
Yeah.
So it's people who are trying to figure out what to do with it musically, or figure out what to do with it commercially, that are not from the culture. So we have to control that.
And the point with Nikki Giovanni, because coming in and with our influence, and you meet different poets that's already there, and they try to set themselves up as the gatekeeper. Was telling myself that I'm not a poet. It's spoken word, and I went in YouTube Nikki Giovanni. I'm like, she's doing the same thing I'm doing. She had all the poet devices. She was doing culture. She was doing the references. I'm like, she's doing the same thing I'm doing. She might not have the delivery, you know, because we do that MC thing.
Yeah.
But as a writer, we're doing the same thing. And to his point, we'll say that I think when Def Jam and Def Poetry gave us it, we wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
Right.
So, like you said, dope poets doing Def Poetry, and then I hear even better poets in the venues.
Yeah.
And as soon as it look like it's doing something, the poets will say they'll take themselves out the game. Like all of a sudden they don't want to do these.
I know, y'all mad
you're
dramatic.
skipping
Like,
steps.
just do it.
Like y'all gotta kill the next 5 years to keep people coming back. You can't take yourself, because now we got people, and as a person that run the open mic, now I got people coming looking for spoken word, and they not getting what they got on Def Jam, or the best poets ain't showing up at this particular time. They looking like, now I'm looking for the college tour. You skip the step. One thing I love about K Love that he mentioned, she does the college tour, but she'll show up in Philly at Just Words.
Yeah.
So she'll rip it down, get her money, but then go where the people at and let her know I'm still about my.
Don't forget where you came from, big timers. Put the poetry on the map. You guys ready to play a game?
Yeah, let's play a game.
Yeah.
Wanna play a game, Shyste?
I'm here for it. I'm here for the game. Because it's real out here. It's pandemic. We need more games.
Keep it light, brother.
I got my cards. It's time for Off the Top, our creative game segment. We pick a random game. Sometimes we create stuff, and then sometimes we just get silly and, have a good time. At the end of the day, it's always fun. So, you ready, E?
I am ready.
You're going to pick our game for the day.
Let's see what we get here. Oh, it's right about Ali, Shyste. Come on now. Come on. Read that, brother. Read that. Read that for the people.
I'm ready.
What is it?
Hip hop, guess who? I don't know how to play it, but if it's hip hop, I'm for all things hip hop.
Yeah,
it's all written in the stars.
Here for it.
Yes.
That was a turntable scratch for
For those who
Yes.
don't know, people put their hands on the record and they did like this in the mix. It's a thing. Look
It
it up.
wasn't.
Google it. Google it.
Google that.
All right, I'm gonna go get our hip hop encyclopedia book, and we'll be right back to play Hip Hop Guess Who. From the brand that redefines the chivalrous style of today's gents comes their exclusive Key to the City collection. I'm super hyped about this collection because no matter where we go with the JRose Experience, no matter what city we're in, I'm gonna be able to rep for New York, and people are gonna know where I'm from. Hit up Gent and Scholar to rep for your city, including keys to Atlanta, Chicago, DC, Houston, Los Angeles, Miami, New Orleans, Philly, St. Louis, and of course, New York. So head over to gentandscholarcode.com and use the discount code JRose10 for 10% off your purchase of $50 or more. Keep growing. I'm so excited I got both my kids' appointments to get their hair done at Shining Star Kid Salon in Brooklyn, New York. The best part is, I get to pick up a couple of my favorite natural hair products like their Fearless Edge Control, or their Fearless Hair Oil. And these are just some of my favorite products to style my hair with. Head over to ShiningstarKidSalon.com to order from their line of natural products the whole family can enjoy. Or make an appointment if you're in town. Use code JRose20 at checkout for 20% off your online purchase. Keep growing. Welcome back. We are here with our hip hop encyclopedia. We're going to play a little bit of a guessing game, and we're going to test these guys out. They said that their hip hop knowledge is on the line here. Their credibility is on the line. So let's see how well you guys play. So I have some hip hop artists in this book. You're gonna ask me some questions and try to guess who's on the page. Ready?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Is it a East Coast based artist?
Yes.
Is it a group?
Yes.
Okay. Did they debut prior to 2000?
Yes.
They debuted prior to 2000. We did East Coast, right?
An East Coast group before 2000.
It had to be NYC. There ain't no Philly groups.
Is it a New York based group?
Yes.
Did they
Is one of their songs Fight the Power?
No.
were they ever on Def Jam?
No.
Is it 2 members?
Yes.
Is it Audio 2?
No.
Is it Houdini?
No.
Run DMC?
No.
That's 3.
How many
Never
we
won
got? We only got
Let's
2
go.
left?
Keep asking. Keep asking.
Oh, we got 3 left.
All right, hold up. Never on Def Jam, New York,
It's
prior to 2000.
Two people.
2 people.
Eric B. and Rakim?
No. But definitely like further before 2000. I'll give you a hint.
Okay. Are they from the 80s?
Yes.
Okay, all right, Shyste. We gotta get them now.
One last one?
No, we gotta guess now. We gotta. An 80s group, 2 members.
From New York.
Think outside the box.
Outside the box.
They're
Yes.
New York based artists, 2 groups. I mean, 2
people.
2 people. Give
One
us another
group.
hint.
Not the typical group for hip hop in that time frame. In those times.
In the 80s.
In the 80s, it was like, oh, these people are getting together to do music?
Okay. All right. Wait a minute. 2 people, New York based.
Not typical.
It's a hip hop group,
Yes,
and they put out music in the 80s.
definitely.
All right, come on, go through your mental Rolodex of the 80s.
They were
And
trendsetters. They were trailblazers
And
at
when
the
the
time.
KRS One through off the stage?
No.
Okay.
No, you said
Not
no.
down. They ain't New York based either.
No, it wasn't.
No. Okay. Okay, so is there a woman in the group?
Yes.
2 people.
Come on, you got 10 seconds.
Come on, man.
2 people.
Oh, man.
Women.
2 women?
Yes.
New York based.
Salt and pepper?
Yes.
Oh, good job, Shyste. Yo, I was on the blame.
Yo,
But you said
that's how sexist we are.
Yeah.
They ain't even think of it. Ain't
Really?
big in 80s.
But
Yes.
you said it's like unlikely in the 80s.
But they was put
That's
together.
what I said.
They were
like,
put together.
They were trailblazers. There wasn't women MCs in the 80s
wasn't
like
women.
There
that.
was a bunch of women in the
But
season.
now it wasn't popping. It wasn't like now Nicki Minaj and all them are,
Yeah,
you
it
know.
was women.
Now you could be a female rapper and
All right, so
you'll
we
get
got,
love.
we,
So
so we got that, right? All right, good job.
So
Yeah, I got-
that was one of the first, though. And they was put together by Herbie, so that's kind of on that thing.
Oh, that was a rough one.
That was a rough one.
Yes.
When she said New York,
You gotta give us some
early
clues,
2000, I was like,
It's like we got 10 people to get, but we narrowed it down, so we got it. All right, boom,
All right.
let's go. Keep
Y'all
going.
got it. Y'all got it. Okay,
Yeah,
next
she
one.
said group and before 2000 and nothing else, I think, all right, I got this.
All right.
That's
Yeah.
how sexist
But that's
we
right.
are.
I'm thinking Eric B. and Rakim,
I was
Boogie
going-
Down Production, KRS One in Scotland.
I was
Oh
thinking
my
about
God.
Coogee Rap and Polo.
I was going to go Dougie and Slick Rick.
Damn.
Salt Pepper
You
was
said
nothing.
unlikely. I was thinking about some experimental group at
I
that
was like,
point.
we should have liked. I was like, PM Dawn.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what the hell? Okay.
All right, next one.
Are they a West Coast based artist?
Um,
No.
not fully West.
Oh,
Midwest.
Okay. Is it a group?
No.
Okay, solo artist from the Midwest. You know who that is?
We do.
Is it Common?
No.
Common Sense? Not Common Sense?
No.
Okay.
All right,
Well,
it must be
yeah.
somebody close. Kanye. That's
Yes.
I said Common. She said, Kanye. It's Kanye.
You know why I said it? Because I almost picked Common, and I went to another family.
That wasn't as rough as that first one.
Yeah.
Because the Midwest got like 5 MCs. No disrespect. No disrespect. But
No
y'all know
disrespect.
New York.
Disrespect
Every
to
project got 1,000 rappers. That's all.
Facts.
Okay.
All right.
I don't want Midwest.
Come for your neck.
Yeah.
What about Skippy and Jim and no, they gonna know all this.
Listen, Chief Keef.
All right. You ready?
Yeah.
Go with the other one? All right.
Wow.
Somebody we're not gonna lie.
Someone you're not gonna like. All right, guess. Let's go.
That's in the box.
Start asking.
Is it a South-based group?
South?
Base group or are they South-based?
No,
region?
they're not from the South.
Okay. Are they from the West?
No.
Okay, so the East Coast group it's a group.
No.
Oh, all right.
It is
Individual
East
artist.
Coast though.
East Coast individual. Go.
And groups, and solo artists. After 2000?
No.
Okay.
Solo East Coast before 2000.
Is he New York based?
No.
Oh, it's not New York. Oh, okay.
Is it Vanilla Ice?
What?
Miami?
That's East Coast.
What we got left? We got 3 left? 4? 3 left?
Okay.
East Coast,
Not New York.
not New York.
We ain't gonna like him.
After 2000.
It's individual. No, you said before 2000, right?
Before 2000.
East Coast before 2000.
Way before 2000.
Way before
Right, so
2000.
it's an individual.
Not New York.
No.
You said it's
And
an
it can't
individual,
be
right?
Philly if I don't like him.
Mm.
No, that's not a question. That's not a question.
You say he's an individual, right? You said that.
Yes.
Okay.
That's not a question.
You said what? He can't be from Philly?
No, I didn't
Like
say
you?
that. I ain't put the Philly.
I mean, I don't know.
You don't know if he's from Philly or not.
No. Yes, he is.
He is from Philly. Oh, Fresh Prince?
So we got 2 left?
Yes.
Why would we like the Fresh Prince? What?
Don't hate him.
Will Smith.
Brand new funk?
Will Smith.
Brand new funk?
Oh.
I love Will Smith.
I mean, we like him better as an
Fresh-
actor. I was never big on Will.
Fresh Prince album, when he came out, he was on top of things. He was good.
He was, but
He was very good.
I took him as for
Jazzy
novelty.
Jeff.
I took him for novelty that you talking about. Parents don't understand. I think I could beat Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Nightmare
Well,
on
that-
Elm
that's
Street.
Summertime.
No, that was
Summertime was hot.
That was a joint.
Brand new funk was
I
hot.
thought I
That was
could
a bop.
beat Mike Tyson. That's on the decline. That was the.
What else?
That was the third album.
Girls Ain't Nothing But Trouble.
Oh, that
he
was
was
a
doing
good
a lot
song.
of novelty.
No, but Girls in Number Trouble, when he first came out, that was in a Slick Rick bag when he first came out.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah, it was. The storytelling. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
the
was in the
storytelling,
bag. It was in the bag. It was a
Right.
hit.
Yeah.
I'm telling for me, one bang. I
All
want
right.
my Philly not to be in a Slick Rick bag, but to be able to compete with Slick Rick, and he wasn't competing with Slick Rick.
Nah, he
He's
wasn't.
on 85, 86. You won't worry about that.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is a lightning round. All right. The last one. 5 questions.
We knocked off 3 of them out. We kicking ass, Shyste.
So let's go.
That's salt, pepper.
Make the questions count.
Lightning round.
Group or solo artist? I mean, is it a group?
No.
Okay, so a solo artist. You gotta narrow it down. East Coast,
West Coast
Yes.
group. West Coast
Solo artist. West Coast.
solo. West Coast. Death Row.
I know it's only 5 cats it can be, so we're gonna narrow this.
Was
down.
you on Death Row?
I don't think so.
Hey, go help us.
Maybe.
Can you help us? He was on Death Row.
Oh, he was on that.
Yes.
All right. Solo.
Snoop.
Yes.
Okay.
He big Death Row.
Hey.
Him and Dre.
Big
Death
She like,
I felt like he was like affiliated, but I didn't realize he was.
No, that was
he was the
That's how
first
he
Death Row
kicked it.
signing,
Yeah.
right after Dre,
Dre,
if
and
you
then-
will. Yeah.
Well, Dre,
and then
yeah.
he
He's the first
really
one.
came prominent on Dre's Chronic, and then he did his solo album.
Everything.
They
He
built-
was
they
Death
built-
Row.
They
Him
built
and
that
Pop.
album.
Anyway, good job. We did it, Shyste.
Great job,
We
guys.
kicked that ass.
I know I
Cool,
got
we
you.
understand. We know our hip hop. I know this camera I'm flexing it, but I'm flexing. Right.
Know where you come from.
You know what I mean?
So in our DNA.
Your hip hop card
Can I
is
see the book,
nice
though?
and valid. Yes, after I asked you this last question.
Oh.
He's mad excited. Can I see the book? I have a last question that I ask all my guests. I have this belief that creative people are supernatural.
Oh.
We have superpowers. We do things that other people can't do. So, what is your superpower?
Oh, I'm lyrically empathetic.
Yeah.
I can put them words down.
His answer was a bar. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Then
like I
the
connect.
person was the chief physician that's lyrically empathetic.
Yeah. Empathy is the key word. Begins with an E. Empathy is everything, and I think I have the ability to connect and feel with the people are feeling and put those words down. I think that's a superpower.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How about you, King?
I think if I'm related to like superpowers, and I was thinking about this, I was really trying to be profound, but I think it's kind of simplistic in nature. You know, they got the shapeshifters, X-Men and all that. I think that's me. I think people try to put me in a bag, but if they really knew my experience and know that I could, that's a work me. It's I could walk in the church, I could walk in the activism field, I could walk in the artist field, I could be in the streets, at the bar, I'd be able to be in all these different rooms and another part of me comes out. And so it transfers into my writing. There's so many, I could write a poem and people still trying to guess what's my spiritual belief, because they're like, okay, you touch Christian, 5%, Mayat, Sunnis, the nation, what are you? And I'm looking at them like this. Shape-shifting.
So we got the empathy feeler, the empathy, lyrical empathist, right? Oh, did I make that word up?
Lyrical empathist.
Lyrical
I'm a
empathist.
shape-shifting word.
And we got the shapeshifter. I love it.
Nice.
Let's find out. I'm gonna Google that shit later. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. It was such an honor to talk to you guys. Y'all came through and dropped some real gems. I hope you guys listened. Before we say goodbye to the audience, please let them know where to find you, where they could find your work, and all that stuff.
Absolutely. So the main way to connect with me, Instagram, the Poet MC. That's ETHEPOETMC. That's on Instagram. Anywhere on social media. On YouTube, you can stream me. It's the Poet MC, ETHEPOETEMCEE. So you can find my content. Yeah, you can find my content streaming if you look that up.
All right, you got the K Shyste, but you got to look up as Reynald Williams, REYNALD Williams on Facebook. Now, if you get there and there's not enough room, inbox me and I get rid of some dead weight.
Oh, he's popular, like he said.
If you really want to find out what I'm doing next, inbox me. Things keep shifting and changing. I had some live events coming up and it looks like they might shut us down again, so close down the venues again. We just getting ready to open up and I was getting ready to get back out there. So, keep up with it. I can know when I'm in your city. And I'm trying to get down with the live streaming projects. I got a couple in the tank and I'm still, I think I wrote everything that I need to be on there. Now I just got to get in there and finish it up and get out there so I can get to the digital world.
Yes, welcome. Come to the digital world.
King Shyste season is coming.
Please, guys, make sure that you follow these amazing guys. They're doing dope shit in the community, and we need that right now. And of course, follow us, subscribe, like, comment, share, all that good shit. We're on Facebook and YouTube, The Rose Garden Events, and on Instagram at JRose Experience. And you can follow me as your host, JRose, and my Crumble Thoughts. Thank you, guys. Peace.
Get them your nails again, because the nail game is like, good God, look what she's doing to you.
You already know. You know what? You're right. I'm flexing on my nails.
Flex the nails.
Shout out to my girl, Flo. She out here killing it. Thank you. Peace out, guys. Keep growing.